Okay, so now I'm working out the height of the subframe to the compared to the engine. I've already lifted the back of the gearbox up and down to get the same angle as factory. I went to my Jeep outside, I put the spirit level on the rocker cover, and this is now the same. After and also on and also this way it has to be the same. So that way is correct, which was 5.3 degrees in the HO. So I put this at 5 degrees, right? And that's pointing pretty much straight at the rear diff, so that's actually a good thing, because that's my concern, is if you move the engine, you move the position of the end of the gearbox a lot because of the leverage, right? So if I were to like move the engine down, that means the tail shaft at the front is down, etc, etc. Everything there moves. If I move it further back, it means the tail shaft becomes shorter, right? So if I can get away with the room I've got here, the factory position, I will try and get away with it. Even though that by the time there's weight on there and the manual gearbox, I mean, I don't have the transfer case on there yet, of course, but yeah, it's not looking too bad. But with the transfer case on there, it's going to be very short tail shaft, that's for sure. So I don't want to move it more back, because it's going to be short enough as it is, which is good, because a short tail shaft is a strong tail shaft, right? So there's nothing wrong with that, as long as it doesn't really short and on a really big angle. You don't want that either. So what I found is, if I got the center of this hole, it's basically at the top of the subframe. Not quite. No, no, not quite, fellas. I need to find a spot that I can pick on the engine that's the same spot on the body. That would be ideal if I could do that. So, but basically this spirit level is now just a little bit higher than the top of the subframe, the very top, and then it angles, of course, but I need to know the very, very top, because the very top come here, and then it angles down. The very top is at the end of this. So if I know this point here, that'll come a long way into working out what I've got to do. Right, so I'm actually a smidgen high, about, I don't know, 2 or 3 millimeters high on that side, but the same on that. So it's actually pretty level, which means the hoist is level because it's sitting on the hoist. That means the floor is pretty level, so otherwise this angle would be out. So alright, now I have to get a tape measure, and I'll just go from the top hole. I'll zero it out at 100, which is the easiest, not 0. It's always hard to it's hard to get the adjustment right at the end of the tape. So I always go to the 100 mark and then deduct 100. You should stop resting on it, stop shaking it. And to the middle of that top hole, 350 or 250. So 250 down from this top hole is the top of the subframe. You get my drift? So from this hole down, measuring tools, one more nut. Please don't tell me it's low back. There we go. So from this hole down, zero, .5 millimeters. Maybe I should do it the other way. It's still the same, yeah, 30.5. So I'll mark it. That scratch is the middle of the hole there. Still at 30.5. Okay. So 250 down from there, from that mark. Hope you can see, my head's not in the way. Is I'll make a black mark. That is the top. Of the subframe. Okay, so there we got that back. So I'm just gonna center punch that and make it a more permanent mark so I don't lose it, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do next. Well, most of the holes now pretty well line up since I've used the carbide bit to clean them up. These are now a bit more accurate. I remarked them, but I want to drill them out so they're 14 exactly. But I don't do it by hand because I don't want to drill on a slight angle. So I've got this little pedestal drill, and I thought, why don't I set that up on the bench? And it doesn't have a lot of movement in it, but this will work just fine. That is 14 right there. So I just go up, just up until the black, and then do both sides, turn the plate over, and it should be at least reasonably square. I've got this pretty close to 0.1 of a degree. If I put something really thin under here, it goes to minus 0.1. So yeah, So that's what I'm going to do. Where there's a will, there's a way. Make sure it's central. That looks good. Well, glad I didn't sell that. I was going to sell that little drill. Maybe I won't now. That's the first time I used it. I brought it for $30 at a swap meet. That's how I get most of my stuff, second hand, and I fix it. Yeah. First time I used that. I've had it for years. Oh well, all good. Now the thing is, beautiful. You on this side? Yeah, it's not bad. So what I'll do is I'll get two 14mm bolts, put them in, and then make sure all these holes are exactly lining up. These are the two main ones. Doesn't matter if it's a little bit out, these two are important, right? Because if those two are out, see, they line up with this one and that one. If those two are out, that means the oil seal is not lined up. That's why it's so important for me to get it right. Because if these two dial points are not in the perfect place, that will mean that the crankshaft will not be in this, and the seal will be, the crank will be off position. And there'll be more pressure on one side than the other, and then it will leak. That's why it's so important for me to get those right, to get them right. So, okay, that'll do for the drilling of these. I think you get it now. I'll line these up perfectly. This top one is still a little bit out, and maybe a little bit there, but it only takes a few seconds with this. So it's all good now. All right, I'll finish these holes off, fix up my mistake, and then I'll carry on with the points where it sits on the subframe. Okay, quite a few days later, and there's about an 18mm drop from there to there, so I'm gonna have to follow that same line. So which is what we'll do. Turn this baby off. So from that point it goes down to there. That's the actual height of the subframe. So we have to follow that, right? So basically we're gonna get the square. I pressed the screen. So we're gonna go from that point across to there to this point here, then measure down 18 millimeters, and that gives us the angle of the subframe. Would you do that now? Okay, then you end up with this section here being the subframe. That needs to come out along here. I want to save at least this much for the bolts, right? And then do I remove it run from there to there? What do you think? Should I run from there to there? Or should I leave that? All of that? So I have all of this area. So should I run an angle directly from this point roughly to there, or should I go up higher, run straight across almost? No, I don't need that much metal. And I've got pipes coming through here, exhaust for the turbos. Have to think of a lot, I don't make mistakes. And also this side, I need to go underneath this knuckle. So I'd be better off running from there to there and not from the full height, because I'm gonna have to cut this one anyway. So might as well make them the same. Okay, that's what we'll do. Right. We'll make them the same. So to stop, like this is the steering side. Like the steering is here roughly. So if I leave that, I'll have to cut this side anyway. And then not this side, the other side. And then what? Not on that side? No, let's make them equal. Let's just run from this point to that point. I think that's a good strength point. Like I could go square. Because I've still got the nah, because if I go square, I've got the fuel filter there. I'll probably have to cut a hole for some of the fuel filter. And if I already go low and then cut more out, no, I'll leave it that angle. Yep. That one is too. I can always cut more later. I can always cut more later. You know, if I cut a lot of it off now, it's just harder to add back on. You can, but it's just harder. It's just easier to cut more off later. I can always cut it lower later if I decide to do that. So I'm going to go from the lower point underneath the steering knuckle on both sides, even though there's no steering knuckle there. Yes, I ended up buying the half price plasma cutter, half the price I was expecting to pay. Not sure if you can see me there. I'll just show you how I'm doing one cut, and just cut this one out. there. Plasma cut. The Chinese one couldn't do it. Woo. And the rough cut. The first fit of the motor plate is done. There we go. Whew. How does that look? Still need to cut this hole, of course, and trim a bit off the top there, make it look the same shape as the block roughly. But yeah, so next is some angle iron or angle bar welded to the subframe at the back that goes all the way around, and then to bolt it through there that way. Same on that side. So that's the idea. Ooh, yeah, it's rough, but it'll get there. It will get there. So I probably could have left a bit more meat here. I mean, I could easily weld in a little triangle bit here to beef it up a bit. Right. How does the oil filter there look? How's it looking? Yeah. Okay. It's pretty much level with the block. So I haven't seen to see if those holes line up very well yet. Where are we? It's just roughly just hanging there. They'll be fine when they're longer and protruding straight into the cover. This is not the important hole. The important is that I've got long ones that stick out of here for the front plate to line up with. So picture time. Click. Anyway, that'll be the end of my video this time. This is made up of like almost 2 weeks of shorts. And again, I've got to clean up this mess that people made. I don't know, they come in here and make a bloody mess and expect me to clean it up all the time. It's disgusting. Oh well, we'll turn off that light. Hang on. There we go. So, I have to think about what I'm going to clean that up next, of course. Tidy it up. There's some excesses I want to cut for the, like there's a, up here, I want to drill a hole up here for the chain tensioner excess. Actually, there's plenty of room here on that one. I don't really need to do anything there, but I don't have much room on that one up there. I don't really want to remove too much strength, but I could cut a little bit of this out. Now I've got a plasma cutter. It's a piece of cake, really. So, yeah. You beauty. It's not perfectly lined up yet, but it's close. So, anyway, one step at a time. I dropped into Applied Engineering that are doing my engine, and he wasn't there on Friday. What is that? He wasn't there on Friday, so he said he'll call me on Monday about what's happening with my sleeves. What is that noise? Maybe the neighbors. Anyway, signing off. Thanks for watching. Hope you're still here watching at the end, and if you are, thank you very much, and please like and subscribe. It's so important to my channel. Thank you very much. And I'm done for today. I'm not even going to clean up. I'm going to go back, have a shower, and just make sure my wife's okay. God bless, people. Take care. Don't forget God. Without God, we're nowhere. Bye bye.